Good morning. My name is Onepeg, and this is the news. A couple of things that have to do with Tarkov and a couple of things that I guess don't. First, as we can see, Serpov has released a new video. This one is a little bit interesting. Between the different camera angles, there's this bit of distortion and some very muffled, what sounds to be Russian audio in the background. Then secondarily to that, in the second half of the video, or when he puts in the second cassette tape, I guess, there are the same camera numbers, but this time there's kind of like this scrolling bar of light that goes from the top of the screen to the bottom, along with some additional muffled audio. I'm wondering if perhaps maybe somebody were to overlay the two on top of each other, if it would make any kind of sense. I don't know. Unfortunately, in my case, I don't speak Russian, and I'm not very good at these kinds of puzzles. So, as long as I have an idea, I guess I'll share it. But I'm not technologically savvy enough to be able to test any of this stuff. So, I guess I'll just track it from the people that are much better at this kind of cryptography than me. Yesterday, Battlestate Games released a tweet through their beta EFT announcer that said simply that there's going to be a Tarkov TV dev blog this coming Wednesday, February 13th at 2200 Moscow time or 1900 GMT. This is going to be on the official studio channel, which is twitch.tv/battlestategames, and there will be several guests along with Nikita. No word as of yet in terms of who they are going to be. I can tell you right now that I'm not going to be one of them, so if you guys were hopeful for that, not going to be me. But historically, I think that they've had some pretty good folks on there as guests. A couple of things that I would like to personally ask if anyone on the dev team happens to catch this is, first, I'd like to know what the path is moving forward regarding head armor. Because it seems that overwhelmingly in shooting-based games that people tend to aim for the head. It's something that we as old school gamers like myself have been taught to do since the days of CS 1.6. Moving forward from there on out, it's always been the most vulnerable spot and always the spot for shooters that people tend to aim. Now, obviously, there is leg meta stuff involved and the like, but for people that are wearing things like a Class 5 helmet with a Class 6 face shield, or something like an Alton, between the Alton and the Maska, it seems a little bit overpowered when someone is able to use even the best penetrating ammunition on a fully automatic rifle, even using 5.45, for instance, using the 7N39 rounds, to be able to penetrate that helmet with a single shot to the top of the head, to me seems a little bit disingenuous. It serves to reason that something like this should have at least a few hits necessary in order to be able to penetrate it. And when you have things like 5.56 and M995 that are the highest penetrating value for that type of rifle at the moment in the game, to be able to take 4 to 5 shots to a face shield of an Alton before those penetrate seems, again, a bit more in line than what you would see from the current variants of the best AK ammunition. Now, it's a little bit of a different story when we talk about higher caliber rounds like that of the Mosin. I personally am completely fine with something like a Mosin rewarding a player that is extremely accurate on a one-off shot being able to penetrate through the top of a helmet if someone is that accurate. I don't mind that at all. Sure, it gets on people's nerves, but on my side of the fence, that person had very, very good aim and deserves to be able to reap the reward of having that kind of good aim with a single shot when you have several seconds in between reloads. It seems a little bit off-putting when you have the ability to use rather high rate of fire, higher caliber machine guns and be able to do, in essence, the same thing. So I would like to know what the plan is moving forward with helmets and if that's going to be revisited. The second thing that I would like to see discussed would be to revisit the AI behavior inside of the labs when it pertains to the PMC bots. To me, if the gear loadout of a PMC bot includes PS rounds, when they shoot you, that should be the effective damage that is done to you if they are using PS rounds. If they are using 7N39 rounds, it should be the effective 7N39. All too often, however, it feels as though these bots are all using 7N39 or equivalent penetrating rounds, regardless of caliber, and are capable of doing this one-shot mechanic type stuff through your stomach, through your chest, and through your head, regardless of the type of armor that you have on. And in addition to that, they seem very stupid in terms of their movement. I would like to see some type of discussion happen around the movement of the bots and how they tactically approach different situations and how they engage certain people when it comes to things like door interaction, movement around corners, and tactical activity. Because the trade-off right now feels like, in exchange for the lack of proper tactical activity like you would see from that of a player, in exchange you have this ungodly, inhuman aim that goes through walls, goes through doors, and seems to penetrate surfaces with a higher rate of accuracy than what is capable by any other human player. Specifically when related to things like the chain link fencing in the front of the parking garage, where it seems as though a human player is not really capable of doing damage of any kind when shooting through that fence, but in response, the bot has almost perfect accuracy. If the bots and scavs, by extension, are genuinely using some form of ballistic mechanics, like has been said in the past by Nikita on Reddit, I would like to see some kind of evidence of that, because right now it does not feel like that whatsoever. So I don't know if it's a hybridized mechanic or if it is purely just some kind of hit scan and Nikita was mistaken in his assessment, but I would really love some clarification on that, and I would like to know what is planning to be done about it. The last question that I would have for the devs would be in regard to this future look of keycard access for the map of labs and possibly others in the future. My question in this case would be, is the keycard going to be necessary in order to be able to enter the lab? Or is the idea going to be that you're going to need keycards to open certain doors specifically inside of the lab? And coincidentally, with this new keycard system, would we then expect there to be some form of keycard access to other areas in existing maps? And is that on the timeline? And two other pieces of news related to these types of games, but not Tarkov. As a reminder, tomorrow, February 13th, marks the preload date for Anthem, which is one of EA's newest offerings and stands to be something that is going to take on the challenge of usurping Destiny 2. For those of you that have played, and for some of you that haven't, my opinion on the game Anthem is that it seems to be, to me, a bit of a Destiny clone with some Dead Space IP mixed in for dramatic effect and aesthetics. I don't know how this is going to go, but my promise to my community is that I will give this an honest run and an honest review. I do plan on playing it, if only so that I can get a really sound idea of what my opinion of the game feels like and what I believe it to be. I want to try and go in with as unbiased of an opinion on it as possible, so I've tried to stay away from other content creators' overbearing opinions on games like this, because I think they can be pretty polarizing. But since I am a premier member of Origin, I will have access to this on February 14th, Valentine's Day in the United States, if you're one of those people that celebrates it, and plan on live streaming it then. So in a couple of days, perhaps we will be able to explore that together. And lastly, as a bit of a reminder, there is also another big date coming up, which is February 15th, and that is the release date of Metro Exodus. Now, this is another game that I plan on live streaming and playing. As we all know, or for those of you that have kept up with this, I should say, there has been some polarizing bit of an issue with Metro Exodus since the developers of Metro decided that they were moving away from the Steam platform and exclusively releasing this on Epic's marketplace. To me, that doesn't seem like such a big deal. People make business decisions like this all the time, and if there's the ability for people to be able to make a little bit more money on something that they put as much time into as the Metro series, and they can make a little bit better of a profit margin, in my opinion, they should. Now, of course, for the overseas folks, it appears that there's a bit of an issue there because there aren't any types of monetary discounts given to people that live overseas in this case, whereas in marketplaces like Steam, if you live in the EU, in certain countries, you get these games for less. So, unfortunately, for people in the EU, they're not able to get these types of discounts. But at the end of the day, developers like this should be able to make their nut, especially if they're releasing a quality product. And in my opinion, historically, Metro 2033 and its sequels have, in my opinion, done an exemplary job, and I expect Metro Exodus to do nothing short of that. I'm actually looking incredibly forward to the offering of this on the 15th of February, and my hope again is that you guys will join me, and I promise again that I will give as unbiased of a review for this game as I possibly can. That's all I have for today, guys. Again, I just want to say thank you for all of the overwhelming support. You guys make me laugh every single day that we are doing this together. Arnie, you good? You okay? Yeah, you good? Arnie had to shake his head there. Sorry. You guys again make me extremely happy, proud, and humbled that I've been able to develop this into something that is damn near my full-time job. I look very, very forward to quitting my day job to be able to do this full time, and I have all of you guys to thank and blame for all of this. So again, thank you so much, and I'll see you today on stream, and I'll see you tomorrow again in the news. All right.